What's up, everyone? This is Colby Cheese, and I'm bringing you your first look of Elise, the Spider Babe. Now, she's got some pretty sweet abilities that make her very interesting to use and whatnot. And so let's just go ahead and talk about the different spells that she has and what she can actually do and what I think she's going to be or how she's going to be once she's released and stuff like that. So first off, she's got this passive where every time she hits an enemy with an ability in her caster form, her human form, she queues up a spider. So when you switch to a spider form, you get these little spiders that come out, and they do a little bit of damage. All of her damaging abilities scale on AP, so she's going to be pretty much always built AP and maybe a little bit of tankiness later on once you get your initial core damage items, just because you will be doing a little bit of melee in your spider form later on. Now, her Q is probably going to be the spell that people max first. It's a nuke that is a non-skill shot, so you can run up and just click on them and it'll do a little bit of damage like that. It does also percentage-based damage, so I think it's based on their missing health as well, and that's going to scale on your AP like the percentage will, and then it also has a flat nuke amount. When you switch to the spider form, it's really the same thing except it's in melee form. It's pretty strong though. Now the W is actually really fun. Whenever you're in your caster form, it shoots out this like little homing spider, which it's kind of weird in how it works, but if you're close enough when you if you actually click on an enemy champion, it doesn't even say it's going to do this in the description, but it'll actually home onto the target and like chase them down, which is really cool. And so as long as they don't run behind a minion, it'll hit them. But yeah, it will run into a minion if it has a chance to. So, but when it does hit the enemy target, it's actually really nice. It does a decent amount of damage. Generally, I would feel like I would want to max it first, but it doesn't really work that way. It's because in her spider form, you just get a steroid, which the steroid is actually really strong, especially if you're going to be jungling. You would probably max it first, but for the for most part, you want that damage from your Q if you're going to be laning on her. Now, the other thing that she can do, this is pretty much her last actual ability, is her E, and it doesn't do any damage whatsoever, so all of her damage is just from using Q and W. But her E is going to set up a lot of her kills and stuff like that. So in the caster form, it's a skill shot stun, and pretty decent duration. I think it's like 2 seconds, something like that. I don't know, it's really nice duration stun. So you can really do some good work with that if you land it. It's obviously a little bit slow and a little bit difficult to get off. However, the fact that she can do so much damage with her Q and W and then switch to spider form, it's just really nice. Now, this is the part where I really hate Elise. Like all up until that point, like, oh man, she's really cool. But when she goes into spider form, her E is like this little jump thing. Well, sometimes it's a jump. But if you don't click just perfect on an enemy champion, or if you're not just in range, she just flies right up into the air for like 2 seconds, basically like stunning you in a Zanya's form. And more often than not, at least for me, in all of the games that I played her, like out of 5 games, like literally more often than not, it pissed me the hell off because it would just jump in the air and the enemy would get away, or like I would be trying to jump to someone who's farther away to my turret to get away from the gank, but it would just jump in the air and then I'd fall straight down and they'd kill me. Really, really frustrating, and I don't like the mechanic of it. I feel like it would actually be better off if, like, let's say it jumped in the air, if you can like click again on an enemy and then it would drop down to them, but that's not how it works. Anyways, when she is played correctly and when the abilities kind of line up and work in your favor, she can do a lot of bursts and she does a decent amount of damage. I found in one of the games, the one that most of this footage is from, I built a little bit of tankiness. It made her really strong in my opinion, and it was pretty good. I actually had a lot of success with that particular build with like Death Cap and then tanky items. Anyways, I feel like Elise is going to be an interesting champion where you can do really well with her if the circumstances are correct. As far as how strong she's going to be against other laners, I think if people learn how to just stand behind their creeps and not get hit by her little spider, then she's probably not going to be as strong as other people. But if you make the mistake of getting out in the open and then she's able to land that little homing spider on top of you, then bam, you're going to be taking some pretty heavy damage from that. On the other hand, early on, if you're going to be building kind of, a little bit weaker with the, with just straight up damage, you have to be a little bit careful when you jump in with Spider. But the fact that most people don't have tons of burst early on allows you to actually get off a lot of damage, and it's going to be really strong since you're just landing against your opponents in the mid lane, usually the squishier people. Possibly even coming in for ganks on the other lanes is going to be really strong, because not only can you jump on people from long range, but you can also get a stun off. So I found that her roaming is quite nice as well. So there's a little bit of potential for roaming action as a mid laner. But who knows, we may actually see her played as a jungler as the more dominant role, just because her W gives her a little bit of healing back whenever she attacks, and so much extra attack speed. So her jungle is really, really nice. Overall though, I thought she was kind of fun to play. If you can get past her weird leap thing, then I think you'll have a lot of fun with her as well, as she can be quite strong. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you around for the next one. This is Colby Cheese. Make sure you hit that like button and tell all your friends about the video. Peace out.